Good morning and welcome to my closet office that I lovingly call my cloffice. I was trying to figure out the best time for me to be able to do these frequent little updates on my carnivore diet experience. And I figured maybe first thing in the morning while I'm having my coffee might be the best time to do an update. So thank you for joining me for my coffee. Coffee is one thing that I do allow myself to have on the carnivore diet that is not carnivore. Right now I'm working on my second cup and I'm drinking it black. I rarely put heavy cream in my coffee because I do have a slight lactose intolerance, but I do indulge in butter coffee most mornings with my second cup. So, little sidebar about that. My husband roasts his own green coffee beans, and so he grinds freshly roasted beans every single morning for me for my first cup of coffee, which is caffeinated. But then we have I put on a pot of decaf for afterwards, and so frequently I will blend up my decaf with a big chunk of butter and some pink Himalayan sea salt. I'll whiz that up in my magic bullet, and that's my second cup. But I only do that with 1 cup of coffee, and then if I have more coffee after that, more decaf, I'll go back to black. Anyhow, so how to format these updates. I decided that I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to share with you what's going on with me and my progress. And sometimes I might need to turn on my little fan here on my desk because I'm secluded in this little space and it gets a little claustrophobic, a little stuffy in here. So if I do turn that on and it makes some noise in the background, I apologize in advance. It's kind of necessary. In fact, I'm just going to do that right now and we'll see how it goes. If it's too much of a distraction, then maybe I won't do that in future videos, but I'm going to go ahead and switch that on now. So, let's see, a little background without making this too lengthy. I first tried the carnivore diet back in October of 2019, and that's my first video on this channel that I posted, just so that you have some relevance, some context. And if you watch that video, you'll know about my ongoing struggle with weight loss and optimal health and fitness and all the stuff that goes along with that. So, for total transparency, I will tell you that I am 61 years young. I don't like to say old because I don't feel old. Though right now, this morning, I did not sleep well last night. I am having a bit of a rocky morning this morning. Excuse me. Which is not usual. Usually, I feel pretty darn good in the mornings, and I have more energy. In all truth, I have not even finished my first cup of caffeinated coffee yet this morning, and sometimes that does kind of help boost me with my waking up. But I don't drink coffee for the caffeine, so admittedly, I do think it helps. So I'm 61, and a little backstory that I kind of alluded to in that last video from 2019. You may notice that in my face that I probably weighed about 20 pounds more at that time than I do now. And that's due to the fact that trying to think, I think it was 2021, early 2021, like the end of February 2021, yeah, I decided to once again go on the whole foods plant-based approach. Low fat, no added fat, no oils, and no animal products whatsoever. And I stayed on that diet diligently for about a year and a half. That was before we left Oregon, and stayed on that program even through our whole, transition to Texas. And Jeff also, for the first time like ever, he usually doesn't really care. He hasn't in the past really cared that much about following a certain diet plan or anything, but he actually jumped on that whole foods plant-based bandwagon with me and had experienced really positive results. So we were both devoted to that way of eating, all the way until after we got to Texas. And after we got to Texas, I decided, I'm trying to remember, I've got this little journal that I use. It's my diet journal. It's my eating journal. And I started it on April 6th, 2022. And it's not, I didn't start this journal exclusively to be like a diet journal, but that's what it's turned into mostly. But I wanted to read a few entries. I should have marked these before I started this, but just to give you an idea of how I've like bounced back and forth with this diet thing. So I've mostly wanted to like lose the weight because of health, because also because I want to feel good in my clothes, and I want to like just master this weight loss thing once and for all. And I've achieved a level of mastery over that with different approaches over the course of my life. But let's see if I can find like my first entry here where I really talk about it. So April 22nd, 2022 was a Friday, and I say, oh man, I had a rough time sleeping last night. Had terrible upper stomach fullness feeling, headache, restless legs, and general digestive discomfort, all of which kept me awake most of the night. I've gained 6 pounds since April 5th, when I weighed 165.5. And then I enter a couple of other things about my work life and stuff, and then I go back to, at the bottom of this entry, I say, diet, back to low-carb, plant-based eating today. So low-carb, plant-based eating. So it looks like at this point in time, I was already trying to like kind of move back towards a lower-carb approach, but still sticking true to my plant-based approach. And then I also said, and maybe combine that with OMAD. So if you don't know, OMAD is 1 meal a day. So that was April 22nd, 2022. Side note that I didn't mention here, the only reason that I weighed 165.5 at that point was because I had gone on a 7-day water fast. So literally 7 days, no food, only water for 7 days. And I remember, if I remember correctly, I think I lost like 8 pounds over those 7 days, which was obviously water weight, because I had lost weight on the whole food plant-based diet from about like the high 190s down to like 172, and I was maintaining that without really much effort. I was able to just eat what I wanted to satiation, and not worry about tracking my food or my calories or anything like that. But then I was stuck there. I wasn't making any more progress. So that's why I did the water fast. And so that's why I was down to 165.5, which I haven't seen since. Let's see. So April 22nd, 2022. So just over a year ago. Let's see if there are any other significant entries here. Well, there are that I want to mention about why I ended up deciding to go with carnivore after I'd done plant-based for so long. Let me grab a sip of coffee here really quick. And again, this channel is mostly to hold myself accountable and also just kind of track my progress. Okay, so then on June 16th, 2022, says, after 15 months on low-fat, plant-based diet, here are some of the issues and concerns I'm noticing. So this is where I decided, apparently, so on June 16th of last year, to ditch the plant-based approach and go with more of like a ketovore, like more keto. So okay, 1, seriously increased cracking sound in my knees and ankles audibly. So, and that hasn't gone away still. I still have that. 2, muscle loss. Noticeably in my upper body, I feel much weaker. 3, and this was a big deal for me. This still is a big deal for me, knowing that I'm on the right track. Extremely thin and weak fingernails. So side comment on that. I like to go, I haven't right now, but my nails need to be done. But I like to treat myself to manicures and pedicures every so often. And my nails, after being on whole food plant-based, no added fat, except for like I'd eat olives and avocados and nuts and seeds and such, but no oils or, you know, just only fats. So I wasn't completely fat devoid in my diet. I was eating some plant fats, but I just wasn't adding any like overt fats is what they call them. But anyway, my nails had gotten so thin and weak, like paper thin, that I could like tear them, and I was so hyper aware of that I didn't even want to go and have my nails done at the nail salon, because I didn't think that I like to do what's called like a shellac nail, where they do like gel over your own nails. They don't put on a tip, but they like put on a coat over your nails that hardens. But I felt like I couldn't even go to this nail salon and have my nails done because my nails were so thin after 15 months on the whole food plant-based diet. So that was a big deal for me. Also, number 4, thinner hair, significantly. I have never had thin hair. My hair has always been thick, and I remember like it was like getting noticeably thinner. 5, this was a thing. So, still high blood pressure. I'd gotten a blood pressure cuff when we lived in Oregon, and I was like starting to like kind of take my own blood pressure, which I stopped doing because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy for me. I think I get so stressed out about what the number's going to be that in and of itself pushes up my blood pressure because I get all stressed. So I just decided to stop doing that. But anyway, after getting hair, just going to the dentist, they took my blood pressure and it was still higher than I wanted it to be. So, and I was like, after a year and a half on a whole food plant-based diet with no added fats, I would have thought, you know, everybody in that community says that it's really effective at dropping your blood pressure. Still, I was still having high blood pressure concerns. 6, continual crusty nasal passages and sniffing. Like my nose, when I wake up in the morning, my nose was like, sorry, this sounds like TMI, but my nose would be like full of like crusty, like dry mucus that like had collected there overnight, and it would just like make me crazy. It was actually hurt the inside of my nasal passages and stuff, and kept me from being able to like breathe well, and I was always having to like clean that out, and also, yeah, constantly sniffing, which I mentioned in that last video. 7, older looking face and facial skin. So I had noticed that like my skin texture had really, like, with no added fat, no animal products and stuff, it had really made my skin, the quality of my skin tone, like way worse, like drier, more crepey. And I've always had really good skin, so what's up with that? And I've noticed, that's something that I have noticed in a lot of the like the doctors and the advocates for the whole food plant-based diet. Yeah, a lot of them are thin, but they don't look healthy. Like their skin looks like, especially I'm thinking about Dr. McDougall and his wife, Mary, like they're only like 10 years older than I am, and I think they look much older. Like they look frail, and like their hair is real thin and super gray, and their skin is just okay. His skin looks pretty good, but still, they just look so old to me. And that's true of like Joel Furman. I'm just like, I've seen videos of him lately, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, your skin you look old. You've aged bad. So that's a thing, consideration. Number 8. Oh yeah, more translucent teeth. This sounds so bizarre, but I swear to you, it is true. So, and also pinpoint dark spots on the tops of my teeth. So, like after 15 months on the whole food plant-based, no added fat diet, I noticed, like it was visibly noticeable that when I went like this, I could literally see my tongue through my top teeth. And so anyway, like within a short period of time after reintroducing animal products, my teeth remineralized and they're more opaque and stronger. Number 9, bloating and gastrointestinal distress. This was the thing that was really starting to worry me. Like my upper stomach was causing me concern. Like it was like I was getting a lot of constant, near constant discomfort there, and like there was a knot there almost, like I could feel it, wouldn't go away. Like I couldn't physically touch it and feel it, but it just felt like it was a presence there all the time. And then 10, general body skin dryness. This was also a big deal that has changed, like that changes dramatically when I adopt a carnivore diet. Cracking on heels, calluses on the bottom of feet, under little toe, body skin bumps like ingrown hairs, moles, red spots. Oh, and also, something that I didn't note here that I'll tell you now is that I had noticed right here on the side of my neck, I had gotten like under the skin there, I could feel like about a pea-sized lump that was right here, and it didn't bother me in that it wasn't causing me any discomfort or anything. I just noticed it, and it was constant, and it's gone now, and it went away shortly after adopting an animal-based diet. So anyway, this is getting long, but I do want to go over more of these journal entries. So I'm gonna mark, I stopped at July. My next entry is July 3rd, 2022, and I will start with that in my next video, I think, because these journal entries are relevant to why I decided to adopt a carnivore diet. And there are reasons that I've bounced back and forth. Like it's confusing to listen to the different doctors and authorities in both camps talking about how the other camp is detrimental. But so really, in closing this first video, I will just say that the reason that I've decided to stick with the whole carnivore diet is because when I am eating only animal products, meat, butter, eggs, I really limit my dairy usually. I think I do better when I limit my dairy, but you know, meat, butter, eggs mostly. A lot of those symptoms go away. And so because of that, you know, especially like my skin issues get so much better. Like my feet just get softer and pinker. Like my shins aren't like all flaky like they used to be. My nails get noticeably harder. Like I recently decided to shift and do the plant-based thing again for a few days, like last week, and immediately my teeth started hurting. Like all of my teeth started hurting. They were sensitive. And my my nails, they're still not back to where they were. My nails started getting softer again. So no, I'm gonna have to stick with the animal-based approach. I may or may not decide that I can eat some plants, but for right now, I'm sticking with the carnivore approach. Anyhow, if this interests you, I would love to hear about your experience if you've tried the carnivore diet versus the plant-based approach, what your experience is, you know, what you've decided. Have you seen symptoms change? I've heard lots of people in both camps experience improvement. So anyhow, that's all for today, and I will try to do these updates frequently, if not every day, every morning, then at least a few times a week. All right, take good care, and I will check back in with you soon.